محمد رسول الله لا إله إلا الله علي ولي الله.
Recently, I heard, or like I was on social media, and I seen one of the Bekri brothers comment saying that um why would Imam Ali hate Umar if he married his daughter Kulthum to him?
Hmm.
What would your response be to something like this?
Would you like to stay on the line whilst I tackle the questions, or would you like to hear it from the, from the screen?
Of course, I'd like to hear you in action.
Okay, without a doubt, inshallah. No worries, inshallah. So, with regards to, let's start with the second question. It's nicer, it's better. And then we'll go ahead with the lady of heaven, inshallah. The second question: why did, or how can you say that Imam Ali alayhi salam was against Abu Bakr and Umar, or was against Umar specifically when he married his daughter Kulthum to Umar? We say هذا أول الكلام, يعني this is the beginning of the talk. Who told you that Imam Ali alayhi salam gave his daughter to Umar? They would tell me this and that and this narration and that narration. We tell them this narration, all these narrations have conflicts. One says that Umar proposed, but Imam Ali rejected. That's the first narration. Second narration is that they got engaged, but Umar died before they could consummate the marriage. That's number two. Third narration, they got married and they bore a son. His name is Zaid bin Umar. And when Umar died, Kulthum and Zaid also died on the same, not on the same day. Umar died, but Kulthum and Zaid died on one night, on the same day. And that's it. And this is what happened. I mean, trying to remove them from existence almost. We tell them that look, you're in disarray. You're literally playing with fire here. You don't know what you're saying. One says that it did not even happen, rejected. The other says that they got engaged, but Umar died before they could consummate the marriage. And then the third one says, no, there was an actual son that was born. His name is Zaid, and he was there, but he's gone now, but he died early. This confusion, this this conflict in narration indicates that there is something wary about the matter. There is something, not right about the matter. Something doesn't smell right, as they say. You have introduced a figure, a historical figure, named Zaid, son of Umar, and what do we know of him? What do you know about him? And where has he come from? And how long has he lived, etc. All these matters. Very little is about him, if anything, that is yuzkar, something that's really we can mention it. So what we say that, as Shaykh al-Mufid said, Shaykh al-Mufid, the scholar of Shia Islam, clearly said that this is a fabrication. The marriage between Umar and Kulthum is something that is a fabrication. It is something that is not correct. It is not true. And what is the proof of this? This collision, or this conflict between the narrations, and dictates that this matter is almost forced. And we have this narration. We have a narration actually from Imam al-Sadiq alayhi salam, says in Al-Kafi, that states, paraphrasing, is that Imam is asked about this matter. That did Imam Ali marry his daughter Kulthum to Umar? Imam says something along the lines that, are you forcing this matter? It's as if you're trying to force them that they married. They did not get married. They were not married. They did not, the marriage did not go forth. Imam says, it's like you're forcing the matter. It's like, are you forcing the matter? And the narration ends there. So we know clearly that the marriage of Umar and Kulthum is something that they have to prove. Bring us your strongest evidence of this matter. And we know that there are narrations in our corpus. We know that there are narrations in our literature, but these narrations are what? They go back to your sources. We look at the chain and we see that this figure is actually the same figure who narrates in Mustadrak al-Hakim. Mustadrak al-Hakim, who is he? He is one of your scholars who brought a compilation, a book that is of the category, or Yastadrak, he takes, he carries the narrations that Bukhari and Muslim missed. They know Bukhari and Muslim. So he's of your sources. Sorry, wherever you go, you would have to bring forth the strongest possible proof, and then let's have it into let's analyze it and sieve these narrations that you have, and let's see what stands. The so-called Sunni sect, the Bakris, have come up with many attempts. They have come up with many attempts in trying to go forth, and it did not come out successful throughout the 1,000 years that we are, for over a millennium, basically. So we stand here from the position to state that this marriage did not go forth, and the contrary narrations speak, loud enough, and you really have no legs to stand upon regarding this matter. And even if we were to say, look at this, we are so in a state of power that we know exactly how to, deal with these matters. Even if we were to say that, although it did not happen, even if we were to say the marriage went forth, so you're saying that because Imam Ali alayhi salam married his daughter Kulthum to Umar, therefore that necessitates that Umar is righteous. Otherwise, how can Imam Ali alayhi salam marry his daughter to Umar? It is the fact that he married that means Umar is righteous, and this whole story of the attack and all of this is all a fabrication, doesn't exist, didn't happen, right? That's what they want us to believe. We tell them, how did you come with this? How did you come to this understanding? How did you come to this conclusion, Mr. Whoever? How did you come to it? Did you take that understanding from the Quran? Did you take this understanding from the narrations of Ahlul Bayt alayhim wasallam, all the narrations of the Messenger sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, that if one marries, marriages, literally marriages, are what determines righteousness? This is where we've come to. Then let's say, for example, that Fir'aun was good. Fir'aun was righteous. Otherwise, how can Asiyah bint Muzahim marry Fir'aun? How can that happen? This is in the Quran stipulated. Then let's say, for example, that Lot, the Prophet Lot, yes, he proposed to marry his daughters to homosexuals. As the Quran states, that Lot says, these are my children, they are more purified for you. Because homosexuals, the homosexuals of his people wanted men, basically. They did not want women. So as a form of islah, as a form of rectifying, he said, these are my daughters, take my own bloodline and marry them, for they are more purified for you, right? So can we now say that's because the Prophet of Allah, Lot, proposed to marry his own daughters to homosexuals, therefore they are all righteous? Therefore they were righteous. They were homosexuals, but despite that they were righteous. This does not make sense. Marriages do not dictate whether the person is righteous or not. Marriages do not dictate whether we can say the individual, for example, is a righteous individual or is not. This is something that is laughable and unacademic. مو علمي. هذا كلام مو علمي, and it's not academic. It's not the right way. How to establish one's righteousness and one's salah is by looking at his athar, looking at what he left behind. We read the figure's character vigorously. We read each and every narration that this individual narrated. We read each and every report that came about this individual. And we look at his khatima, or khatama. We look at his ending. How did he die? Upon what did he die? Upon what belief did he die? And from there we say this individual is righteous or if this individual is not, based upon either the statements of the Imam alayhimus salam, the statements of Ahlul Bayt alayhimus salam, or upon evaluation. This is the right way. This is the right way to research one's righteousness or not. Since when did it come to that's because marriages, marriages become, the state of whether we can determine this guy's righteous or not. The Prophet Lot proposed his daughters to homosexuals. If we say that, that's Prophet Lot gave his daughters to homosexuals, therefore the homosexuals are good. Or at least these specific parts. This does not make sense. This is not rational to believe, and it's, quite frankly, is a fallacious argument. I like the matter of Asiya and Fir'aun. If Asiya, the righteous woman, married Fir'aun or was a wife to Fir'aun, does that necessitate that now Fir'aun is righteous and we must, revere him? So that is something that does not make sense. And we say again, the marriage does not take place, and even if the marriage took place, it does not necessitate Umar's righteousness. Marriages do not necessitate righteousness. And that's the first, or the answer to the second question.